This prof gave me so many assignments. I don't know when to finish it.
Hey Steven, how's it going?
Hey Cass, how's it going?
Good, good. What are you doing here?
I'm drawing graphs. This prof gave me so many assignments. I have no idea when I'm gonna finish them.
Oh, that's terrible.
How about you?
Well, I got a paper to read. It's about Aboriginal people, and I have to write a paper on it.
You know, I go to Chinatown very often, and I always see those people just getting drunk or having drugs on the roadside. You know, those people, they're called chucks because they don't work, they don't pay taxes, they do nothing. All they do is just they become welfare bums, right? So I think they deserve what they get. They're just poor.
Well, that's interesting. I am actually quite surprised that you didn't like Aboriginal people. You know what, like this paper I'm currently reading, it's called Aboriginal Perspective on Human Rights in Alberta. It actually addresses the issues showing Aboriginal people. You know, like, I know they do have such problems, but that's because basically two reasons. Like, first of all, they did not know where to seek help. Second of all, they sometimes do not believe that the system works because, you know, the government is doing kind of like biased thing towards the Aboriginal people too. For example, they would just perfectly show that the Aboriginal people are doing bad things such as drugs and, you know, commit crimes and whatever. But actually it's not true. Actually, in the real time, it is the Aboriginal people who are actually discriminated because, for example, they do not have like equal treatment compared to other people. If they got into jail, they would have to have a longer sentence as well as less chance to get parole.
You know, I know there's something wrong that are like white people's ancestors have been done to those like Indian people, but I mean, everybody has history, right? And I mean, this type of thing happens to all kinds of people, and I think you just have to take it, right? You cannot treat a part of the society different than the rest. I think Indian people should be equal with us, and I think we should stop feeling guilty to them, and they should be equal with us. They should stop having like just special rights.
Well, that's actually not right because, you know, we already know the society has such discrimination against women, and for Native women it's even harder. First of all, they're discriminated because they're Native, and second of all, they're even more discriminated because they're women. I mean, for example, if they chose to marry someone else who's non-Aboriginal, then they lose their status. They'll no longer be Aboriginal people. Like, this is very bad because by doing this, more and more Indian status will be reduced. So if the women don't start to fight now, there's going to be more for their children to fight in the future.
You know, Native people, they're less educated. They have no scientists, they have no politicians, they have no mathematicians, and you know, some Indian, they only live with receive special benefits and privilege from the government.
Actually, that's wrong. Actually, I have this paper right here to show you that. I'll just read off the paper. 77% have a high school degree, and for those, which is like 13%, have a bachelor's degree. But this percentage has doubled within the last 10 years. Also, for those those are 25 and older with a bachelor's degree, almost 80% are within the field of science and engineering, which, you know, traditionally we think like a higher pay. Also, the one problem they're talking about, like what privilege Indian people have, that's not very correct. I mean, such privilege is not only given to the Aboriginal people, like other people who are historically in disadvantage, such as veterans and people with disability and such. They're also given a lot of benefits, right? So actually it is not fair. It's kind of like a discrimination again towards Aboriginal people that they are the only one who got caught out for their privilege.
You know, when I was in my early 20s, I was involved in a car accident and my nose was broken. The police who attended asked me if I was drinking. The doctor at the hospital treated me like The insurance guy who came to the house later asked me if I was on drugs. I mean, can you believe this? A week later, the bandage were taken off and there was blood on my face. It happens to everyone. I mean, I say in my case, it was disrespected for you. Get over it. Life happens to all.
Well, if they're not feeling safe or respected, of course they're not going to communicate well, just like other people. Right? I mean, for example, if they went to hospital for some treatment and they feel like they're disrespected or whatever, it's very unlikely for them to go back to the same place and to get their following treatment or checkup or whatsoever. Well, I mean, healthcare is a very important part of our society. It's related to people's lives, of course, also for Aboriginal people's lives. So I think it is very important that they feel safe and respected, at very, very least, in the healthcare system.
You know, you see white people on television because this is a white people's country, right? When I come to Canada, my parents tell me I have to work extra hard to get into the major society. And I mean, I think this applies to this native people as well. They should also work hard enough to get into the major society, the mainstream society, right?
When talking about cultural imperialism, the question is actually who has the power and who will win. The answer is definitely white people. They do discriminate Aboriginal people and other people a lot. However, it's not their own fault because they were taught to do this. They didn't know that they're actually discriminating other people. It's the way that they were taught that they have more privilege compared to any other races. Well, I was born here and my boyfriend's actually Caucasian, and as a white male, he actually recognized that how much more privilege he has over other people. I mean, the other day when I went to Tim Hortons, actually there was a guy waiting for me to open the door for him. That's purely discrimination against females. Well, I mean, females are already at disadvantage. However, if you are white, maybe you're going to receive a little bit more respect than non-white. I mean, for me personally, I am not often respected. Like once I told my boyfriend, I was like, I think maybe it'd be better for me if we move to a other province such as Alberta and such, where non-Asian people would be a little bit higher population than here in Lower Mainland. But he said that's not the case, because if there's less Asian people, there's actually a higher chance for me to get discriminated.
I don't understand. Why do we need to study this Aboriginal study in our university? It's not even useful for us, and I mean, it doesn't help me to understand the science, the world, and I mean, why don't you just add Chinese study, because Chinese is minority as well, right? Why should we pay favor here?
I personally think Aboriginal education is very important. I mean, in the past few years, actually less than 10 years ago, in high school, there's nothing about Aboriginal people, their culture, their history. It's basically the society is trying to forget about the Aboriginal people. Now that we actually got a chance to learn more about Aboriginals in university, colleges and such, this is very important, because Aboriginal people, they're part of our society. Their culture is part of the Canada's multiculturalism. So it is very important. Also, I want to bring to your attention that in each province, there are different groups of Aboriginal people, and they have completely different languages and cultures and practices and such. So it's also important for the provincial education administration to make sure that they cover their own groups, because otherwise it's inappropriate to teach their students in just one general way about Aboriginal people.